When Kirk Frost is involved, the atmosphere is always tense. This time, though, it has nothing to do with his personal scandal. It concerns someone else. Rumors that are currently circulating on fan pages and group chats claim that a private film of Erica, Mena, and Mendy that was never intended to be seen has come to light. Additionally, Kirk himself was the one who allegedly leaked it. Indeed, the same Kirk who has been avoiding trouble one way or another is suddenly being held accountable for what fans are referring to as the season's most explosive leak. According to sources, the video captures Erica and Mendeecees conversing in an unguarded, intimate environment in a way that has everyone's eyebrows raised, particularly in light of their past interactions and off-camera remarks. Production-related sources now claim that this clip wasn't accidentally leaked. They claim that Kirk and Mendeecees got into a furious dispute, and in the midst of it, Kirk made the decision to reveal to the world what was actually happening behind the scenes. Furthermore, if the rumors are accurate, the video might destroy entire relationships in addition to upsetting the cast. What precisely is in the video then? And why did Kirk decide to share everything at this time? Remain with us. We're dissecting everything. What began as a typical production week swiftly descended into a chaotic off-camera situation. The Love and Hip Hop cast is all too familiar with it. Before it became evident that something significant had occurred, there were rumors and sporadic discussions among the cast, crew, and members. After filming a group sequence with Mendeecees, Yandi, and Erica, Mena, Kirk Frost abruptly left the set, raising suspicions among fans who follow behind-the-scenes action. It appeared to be just another cast dispute at first, but what transpired next would change the season's overall vibe. Several unauthorized sources close to the VH1 production team claimed that Kirk leaked a secret video clip of Erica, Mena, and Mendeecees that was never meant to be seen by the public. The internet is currently eating the interaction between Kirk and Mendeecees was updated. The previous remarks Mendeecees made in a late-night scenario in which he described Kirk as someone who never really handled his house and implied that the only reason people continued to discuss Kirk was because of LHHATL's allegiance rather than Kirk's, had apparently caused the two to argue. Presence. The fact that Erica was sitting directly there throughout the scene didn't help Kirk, who had been making an effort to keep a low profile this season, and he didn't like the jab. "All right?" She grinned, nodded, and added her typical commentary on how some men only exist because women are always filling in for them. Kirk had that scene saved, but it was not included in the episode's final cut. What has been going around isn't a typical scene or a show segment shot. Insiders are referring to it as uncut, behind-the-scenes video from an Atlanta night when the actors weren't actually filming. 3 voices, a couch, a table, low lighting, and a few drinks make up the private scene. It's easy to hear Erica and Mendeecees conversing without realizing they're being filmed. They're calling some folks false and laughing at the chemistry of the cast. Kirk is behaving like he has motion, but he has never had it. Even the streets don't check for him anymore, Erica says without hesitation as she leans toward Mendeecees. Mendeecees laughs and continues, "Man ain't even got in his own kitchen." Although their tone is lighthearted, it is abrasive. Though nothing physical occurs, the way Erica and Mendeecees talk, their comfort level, and the fact that they appear so at ease off camera have led many to speculate just how close the two have gotten. And that's where things get messy, because, according to the same sources, Kirk didn't just stumble on the video. The brief video, which is just under 2 minutes long, is full of shade, slick talk, and something more intimate than fans are used to seeing between the two. Footage obtain access to it. The production assistant who handles media transfers at the end of the day of filming is said to have flagged the video after observing that Mendeecees and Erica were still mic'd after rapping. Kirk allegedly learned about it during an event session with the crew, and when tensions between him and Mendeecees increased later that week, he requested a copy. The timing of the leak is what makes this situation explosive. Days before the video, went viral, Mendeecees, and the leaked footage went viral, with fan pages reposting it within minutes. The audio was ripped, turned into memes, and began trending on Black Twitter under the hashtag #KirkCookDro. Yandi was filming a scene about trust and loyalty. Yandi had been talking about feeling distant from her husband and wondering if fame and stress had started to build a wall between them. Now, fans are wondering if that wall was hiding more than just distance. As for Erica, she has been silent since the video was released. Hasn't posted on her main account since, has few comments, and her most recent story was a repost of a quote that read, "The truth always exposes fake connections." Some people are criticizing Kirk for being petty and choosing violence, while others are supporting him and saying it's about time someone revealed what really goes down when the camera stops rolling. Although nothing has been verified, fans believe that she is attempting to deflect. But according to reports, Mendeecees is enraged. According to insiders, he confronted Kirk off camera and charged him with attempting to destroy families in order to gain influence. The tension between them has gotten so terrible that Kirk responded by telling him, "You should have kept my name out of your mouth. Now we all play in this game." According to reports, several cast members are refusing to film together, which is making it difficult for producers to keep sequences coordinated. Yandi has been dragged into a mess she never agreed to, adding to the pressure she is already under this season. She was unaware of the video until a producer pulled her aside during a taping and told her off the record. According to people close to her, she apparently started crying and wouldn't let the day's filming go. She appeared more disappointed than angry, according to others on site. Her response, according to one, was heartbreaking, as if she had been caught off guard. Although Yandi's side has not released any formal statements. People close to her claim that she is insisting that VH1 take over the story before it does. It spirals out of control and it may be too late already. It has been picked up by the bloggers. The comments are crazy. Additionally, some fans are also accusing Erica of deliberately causing Yandi and Mendeecees to become emotionally distant this season. They are citing subtly occurring instances in which Erica interjects herself into unrelated talks. There are times when she pushes Mendeecees to express his opinions, and looking back, it all seems calculated. Regardless of whether that is accurate, one thing is evident. The internet accepts it. Perception is crucial in this environment. For his part, Kirk is refusing to back down. The moment hasn't aired yet, but if it does, it will undoubtedly break the timeline. Kirk reportedly shrugged when asked by a producer in a one-on-one if he regrets leaking the footage, saying, "Nah, I didn't do anything but let the people hear what they already felt. They were bold enough to say it, then they are bold enough to own it." Some enthusiasts are referring to it as calculating. Some claim it's karma. However, everyone acknowledges that Kirk has never moved in such a manner. He doesn't typically take a passive approach. This is audacious. This is the target. This is also a personal matter. Whether they like it or not, the other cast members are now being pulled into it. During a recent taping, Jock allegedly pulled Kirk aside and asked him to let go of the piece in an attempt to save it. "Bro, this isn't the way." Kirk didn't hear Jock's statement that you don't need to go viral to stay relevant. He told Jock directly, "I remained silent as they made fun of me. They will now experience what it's like." The atmosphere on set changes when the joke is reversed. There are no longer any lighthearted discussions. Every camera angle now seems to have the potential to capture something that people weren't supposed to see. And it's tense and unpredictable. The production team no longer includes the assistant who first shared the clip. She was reassigned, according to some, while others allege she was dismissed. In any case, nobody is mentioning her specifically. Although the show's official social media accounts and the network have not responded to the leak, the fans are keeping a close eye on every move, post, and live stream as if it were part of the plot. Regarding Mendeecees and Erica, what they do next could decide the outcome of this. Will they double down, deflect, or deny it? Fans are eager to analyze every word and are waiting. Kirk is still hoarding files too. People tend to forget that Erica and Mendeecees were mocked off the clock on other occasions. There may be more if Kirk truly wanted to continue. Furthermore, one leak is never just one in this world. It serves as a warning, a signal, and perhaps a guarantee that the subsequent plunge might be even worse, be terrible. The fallout behind the scenes was more profound than anyone had anticipated. The individuals involved were in a downward spiral as the video continued to be played again online, being reduced to sound bites and GIFs. Despite opposition from all sides, production was attempting to proceed with planned tapings. Producers had called Yandi, but he had gone radio silent. Yes, and according to insiders, she even failed to show up for a contractually mandated branded event, according to reports. She informed the network that she was not emotionally available to perform at the moment and sent someone else in her place. Executives were moved by the phrase. They were aware that they were dealing with a serious issue. According to reports, Mendeecees was in damage control mode. He called Kirk several times after the video surfaced, but Kirk didn't pick up. Rather, he shared a story with 3 words and a black backdrop. I received more. The meaning was clear to the fans. Kirk was going all out. He had no intention of reversing his actions. He threatened to escalate the situation. All over social media, the article was screenshotted and republished. It was referred to as a declaration of war on blogs. Commenters struggled to decide whether to call Kirk petty or powerful. And as the argument continued, one thing became evident. Possessed didn't realize how far Kirk would push himself. However, it was said that Erica was furious. After a series of off-camera incidents, she had already been working to repair her reputation this season. And now everything was completely exposed by this leak. According to close acquaintances, she accused Mendeecees of being too reckless and putting his trust in the wrong people when she confronted him in private. Although they had always been on the verge of scandal, neither of them anticipated being revealed in this manner. Everything they did now appeared different because people were analyzing every single frame of that film, even the way Erica leaned against Mendeecees, the way he grinned at her, and the casual way they discussed other cast members. Production soon discovered that damage control and editing couldn't control this. The video had already been released. They didn't write the plot, it just happened to leak. Alright, now they had to decide whether to ignore it or use it. There were tense meetings. Inside, according to some producers, the clip ought to be accepted and used as a plot twist. Others said it would risk cast walkouts and inflict excessive damage. However, everyone was feeling pressured by Kirk's quiet. They couldn't risk losing control of the story again if he actually had further footage. It got worse when Yandi's single quotes asked to be absent. Supporters wanted to know her position, if she thought the video was authentic, and if she would face her husband on TV. Her team posted a brief message on a blog stating that she was concentrating on her family and taking some time to comprehend things. However, sources claim that she was upset with Erica as well as Mendeecees behind closed doors. Over the years, Yandi had stood up for Erica numerous times, often at the expense of her own tranquility. It felt like treachery now, like she had once sheltered someone, sitting next to her spouse. She was laughing behind her back. The cast was divided when production resumed. Tensions were too high as producers attempted to film a group brunch scene at a rooftop location in Atlanta. Kirk arrived late and without apology. He ignored the others and grinned as he met Jock. Mendeecees had already arrived and was pacing. Last to arrive was Erica, who was obviously prepared for a fight because she was all black and dark. It was cold. Energy brought up a neutral subject in an attempt to break the ice, but nobody was taking offense. Mendeecees finally said something loud enough for everyone to hear. Thus, we are now sharing the video. Kirk didn't even examine him. Should be thanked. At least the fans are aware of your true clown persona now. Mendeecees' jaw tightened. Do you believe you did something? You just gave the impression that you're desperate? Erica jumped right in. No, he made you all appear clumsy and pliable. Kirk looked at her serenely. For someone who wasn't even on the team. Like questionable ingredients. If you're using like questionable ingredients, if you're using like a scanner app, and it's like where we scanner where we squirty SPA. Like look at this. Like look at this. And we all know. We all suppending that. And we all know I've been exploring that path. Where we see I get with CDs. When I get with CD and we see ATCD ATC to see it. We see with CD CD5 command. With C call sheet that day, you were laughing quite a bit. That was a powerful line. The producers were taken by surprise. Erica retaliated by pointing out Kirk's history and the fact that his main plot point has always been infidelity. Kirk, however, did not recoil. You want to talk about cheating? Say less. He pulled out his phone and Mena sprang to her feet. Man, what do you have? Enough, Kirk said. Just enough to get you to take a seat again. The energy changed instantly. In an attempt to defuse the situation, producers rushed in, but the damage was already done. Everyone left separately when the scenario was deleted. The staff was humming backstage. According to some, Kirk actually had another video. Some claimed that he was bluffing. However, it was undeniable that Kirk was taking the initiative for. Once the cast was unsure on how to handle that, fresh clip began making the rounds later that night. Although it was obviously from the same night, it wasn't as shocking as the first. This one had Mendeecees and Erica discussing a different cast. Remember? They were labeling his latest scenes filler bits, making fun of his hairline and making fun of his parenting. Once more, the internet exploded. Fans began defending Jock at a level he hadn't seen in years. Slammed Erica for being dirty and dragged Mendeecees for being phony. Jock, to his credit, didn't respond in public, but according to sources, he called Kirk and requested a meeting. The two had an off-camera conversation in a bar. According to insiders, Jock informed Kirk that while he didn't like getting caught in the crossfire, he could understand why Kirk did what he did, according to reports. Kirk told Jock that he wasn't done and that Mendeecees' public disdain was the sole reason he dropped what he did. However, more footage might emerge if individuals continued to discuss. Jock was uncomfortable as he left the meeting. Cornered now, Erica attempted damage control. She shared an ambiguous Instagram picture with a message about maturing, growing up, and letting go of past iterations of herself. The fans didn't believe it. The remarks were harsh. She was referred to as sloppy, disloyal, and two-faced. The fact that Mendeecees had not spoken since the altercation at brunch, however, was what shocked people the most. He had become silent, unfollowing a number of cast members, deleting posts, and erasing story highlights. According to some, he was taking a break with Yandi. Others said she spent a few days away from their shared residence. As the next week of filming drew near, everyone was watching, even though nothing was certain. A forced resolution sequence involving Kirk, Mendeecees, and Erica was being planned by the producers. The idea was to put them on equal footing, allow them to discuss it, and then let them go. Kirk, however, had other ideas. According to sources, he informed the producers that unless he received a raise, he would not be performing any resolution sequences. He asserted that the show's viewership had increased as a result of the footage he made public, and if they wanted more, they had to come right. Behind the scenes, the request created a stir. Some believed he was playing a bluff. Others thought he was actually more content. The digital team at VH1 was monitoring data, and interaction was indeed increasing. Videos that had been leaked were trending. Reactions on YouTube were rushing. Additionally, the frequency of rewatches of even older seasons of the show increased. Kirk was aware that his worth had changed. He wasn't the target of the joke for once, it was he who made it. And he intended to use that power for as long as possible. Meanwhile, Erica was in a frenzy. She began contacting the cast members. In the past, she had disassociated herself from attempting to re-establish relationships. While some ignored her, others replied. Yandi was nowhere to be found, and Mendeecees continued to act distant. She was keeping an eye on everything, taking notes and waiting for the proper opportunity to speak, according to those close to her. And it wouldn't be on Instagram when she did. In a confessional, that is. Ready to land, she said, the cameras rolling and the full impact of her words. The stage of production had been reached. Yandi was awaited by all. It had been more than a week since she had set foot on the set, hadn't responded to any texts from producers. Additionally, according to insiders, she missed 2 different call times without providing a clear justification. But every conversation still included her name. Everything came back to her, whether it was cast members chatting behind closed doors, staff conversations, or logistics, because Yandi's silence was more significant than Kirk's leaked video, which had presented Erica and Mendeecees in a particular light. People were curious about what she knew, when she knew it, and above all what she intended to do with it. Insiders said that Kirk had been attempting to defend his conduct by claiming that Mendeecees had crossed a line, that it was the only reason he released the footage. When they began bringing up his family, he first allegedly told producers that Mendeecees and Erica had been making fun of him all season long, both on and off camera, and that their small jabs weren't that small. What Kirk described as a pattern of hidden shadow and side chat infuriated him. Additionally, he saw the clip release as a form of balance rather than retaliation. They weren't embarrassed by me. Many believed Kirk had gone too far. Notwithstanding his stated statement, they embarrassed themselves. I just played the tape. According to reports, even Jock, who had made an effort to remain impartial throughout it all, was beginning to feel bad about standing up for Kirk at the rooftop brunch. He expressed his doubts that Kirk would truly pull it off to someone set the cause of the leak. Additionally, Hawk was now being pulled into it as well. The video of Mendeecees and Erica mocking his parenting had struck a chord. He was receiving sympathy even from followers who typically made jokes on social media. It was referred to as a low blow. Some claimed it was retribution for remaining close to Kirk over the years. For all these years, when production arranged for Kirk and Mendeecees to have a sit-down, the tension peaked. Without prior notice, it was merely a green screen pickup. Kirk was informed. Mendeecees received the same message. However, the energy immediately changed as they arrived and met. Before each of them took a seat, the cameras were rolling. Kirk entered first, expressionless and dressed entirely in black. Mendeecees showed up 2 minutes later, clearly irritated. After taking out his microphone bag, he tossed it onto the table. He said, "I'm not making a scene. Talk like a man is why I came here." Kirk remained still. He simply took a seat. Talk. Then, hands on the table, Mendeecees stood. "Brother, you leaked a private video. It's bad." "Whatever it was," Kirk retorted, "you laughed at me behind my back for months. We're talking trash like everyone else. You made it into a public controversy. Now, my wife can't even leave the home without hearing about it. You let Erica sit there and clown me? You thought it was funny? Look who's laughing." "He wasn't laughing at you," Mendeecees said. Mendeecees copied. "So that's what this is. Are you trying to get even?" Kirk said. "Calm, I'm reminding people who started this." Kirk leaned in a little. "Neither could mine when y'all were dragging me in every scene." The producers then silently let the cameras roll. Kirk remained sitting, unfazed, and later in his confessional, he declared, "I don't care if I'm the villain." Mendeecees eventually left, slamming the door behind him. Perhaps it's time for someone else to experience embarrassment. That title has been with me long enough. Yandi ultimately appeared shortly after. The sequence was filmed. No glam, no camera crew. She reportedly added, "I have things to say, but they'll be said on my terms." When she entered the production office and requested a straight conversation with the showrunner. When she left after the more than hour-long meeting, her team uploaded a single note on her account that said, "Filming resumes tomorrow." When she returned the following day, everything was different. And the crew tightened. "I've been quiet because I wanted to believe this was just noise. It's just started. But now that I've seen the footage, heard the commentary, and sat with a silence in my own home, I realize it's more than that." The cast looked uncertain at first. Jan Dandy arrived on set wearing a dark brown jumpsuit, no makeup, and a look in her eyes that said she wasn't playing games. Producers gave her the freedom to speak how she wanted, without prompts or scene partners, just Yandy in a chair and a camera. She hesitated. "If my husband believed he could have private jokes with another lady at my expense and get away with it, he's wrong. It's disrespectful, not just to me, but to the reputation we've worked so hard to create. That woman is wrong if she believed she could laugh in my husband's ear and it wouldn't get to me." Furthermore, Kirk is not in a position of moral superiority here. All he knows how to do is press the record. Her confessional video was instantly shared to the network. Within an hour, they approved it for promotion. It was already drifting away from men by that evening. Mendeecees never gave a public response. Rather, he was spotted recording a scene in a park by himself. Lot was obviously upset and allegedly admitted that he had messed up. But he didn't anticipate the situation would become so out of control. He was asked if he wanted to speak with Yandy on camera by the producers. He refused, stating that he had to deal with that as a spouse, not one of the cast. Erica said nothing. Since the brunch incident, she had stopped filming. After Yandy's confessional aired, there were rumors that she was thinking about ending the season early. Supporters started criticizing her, saying she was too at ease in other people's relationships. Others stood up for her, arguing that Kirk wasn't the right person to release private material in the first place. In any case, the pressure was increasing. There was utter silence in the cast group chat. Nobody wished to take sides. Nobody desired to be the next victim. Not even Rashida, who typically had something to say about everything, had spoken. According to some, she was let down by Kirk. Some claimed she was sick of having to clean up after him all the time. Meanwhile, Kirk kept showing up for the set as if nothing had happened. He remained silent, obeyed instructions without protest, and grinned during pickups. The only response he had when a producer inquired about what to do next if Erica or Mendeecees came up the steps were, "I said what I said, and if they haven't learned yet, I got more." Nobody could be certain if that was accurate, but everyone was on edge because of the threat. Chaos is the norm in the worlds of hip-hop and love. It wasn't chaos, though. It was planned. And the one person that everyone assumed was calm, washed out and done with drama for the first time in a long time. It is in possession of every card. And nobody had any idea what he would do next. The producers made a final effort to restore control as emotions were at an all-time high and the majority of the cast was being cautious. At a secluded estate, they set up a closed-set taping. It's just the main actors and cameras. No glam team distractions or extras. The objective was straightforward. Address the stillness, confront the mess. To produce something usable before the plot grew out of control and beyond the scope of editing. They didn't anticipate, however, that this last meeting would reveal even more flaws than the video Kirk disclosed. First to arrive was Yandandi Y with a black notebook in her hand and an expressionless face. She entered casually. She sat on the patio couch and waited without saying hello to anyone. Mendeecees arrived a few minutes later. He entered without glancing at her. He sat with their jaw clenched and their arms folded on the other end of the set. Next was Kirk. He arrived by himself, no entourage, no Rashida. He gave the team a nod and took his place in the center, like a guy prepared for anything. Erica was the wild card, as everyone knew. She entered the room without apologies, wearing huge white sunglasses, just as the producers were beginning to doubt her appearance. It was a whole minute before anyone spoke. It wasn't awkward to be silent. It was risky. As if every word they said may ignite an uncontrollable fire. Kirk finally shattered it by leaning forward. He said so everybody saw it as if it were a challenge. Mendeecees remained silent. Yes, we did see it. Yandhi turned a page in her notebook, eyes still down. Erica tilted her head and crossed her legs. Kirk then gave her a glance. "You're still bold, huh?" she asked. "I'm consistent," she said. "Don't pretend it was about respect." "Q knew it wasn't," Kirk remarked. "Q knew what you were doing." Mendeecees finally said, "Even you wanted to ruin people." Kirk muttered, "No. I just wanted people to stop pretending they're better than me while doing the same messy things behind closed doors." Yandhi closed the notebook, placed it on the table, and looked up. "The only difference is that I've been trying to protect my family." Producers were shocked. This wasn't a scripted blow-up or an orchestrated sit-down. This was real, raw, and whatever came next. Kirk pointed to Mendeecees and said, "You chose to destroy it. Your husband made choices too." "Don't forget that. I haven't," she said quietly. Mendeecees looked at her for the first time, looking truly shaken. Kirk got up with his hands in his pockets and said, "I'm done with it. Let the fans decide." Erica chuckled. "The fans? Oh, they've already decided. They think you're desperate." They weren't sure if it would be Arab law or even legal. And yet somehow they're talking about me more than they're talking about you, Kirk said, looking at her with the same smug calm he'd had since the footage dropped. Producers rushed to follow him as he left the set, Mendeecees remaining seated and massaging his temples. Erica appearing unconcerned despite her tapping foot, and Yandhi standing slowly and declaring, "We're not filming anything else together. This season, inform them." In the days that followed, fans couldn't stop talking about the footage, but also about the silence, the body language, and the things left unsaid. That moment marked the official fracture, turning what had begun as a small leak to settle a score into a fundamental change in the show's foundation. Power dynamics were rearranged, alliances were shattered. The boundaries between the cast and real life were irreparably blurred. Fan pages began speculating within minutes, with some believing that Kirk was bluffing and the folder was empty, while others were certain that he had more footage, more conversations, and perhaps even texts or voicemails. Edits from the scene were already making the rounds, showing clips of Yandhi's heartbreak, Kirk's sarcasm, Erica's smirk, and Mendeecees looking like a man unraveling. Kirk then posted again, but this time it was a picture of a folder titled Receipts, Part 2, with no caption or tags. Reddit threads sprouted as fans argued over whether Yandhi should leave Mendeecees, whether Erica had crossed a line, and whether Kirk's retaliation was cruel or justified. During all of this, Kirk remained silent. No interviews, no lives, no behind-the-scenes confessions, just the kind of silence that carries weight. Kind that leaves everyone wondering what will be revealed next. Meanwhile, Mendeecees was left in a state of uncertainty. His marriage was in jeopardy, his image was damaged, and he was unsure of whom to believe. Yandhi was not responding to his inquiries. Erica was not taking sides. And Kirk was playing chess while everyone else was trying to determine whether they were even on the board. Whether people liked it or not, Kirk had delivered the kind of chaos that keeps a franchise alive. But the damage was already done. Marriages broke down, friendships ended, brands reconsidered. And fans who had previously been loyal to certain couples now questioned everything because of one clip, one leak, and one man who finally decided he wasn't going to be the punchline anymore. At the end of the week, VH1 producers were quietly rewriting the season arc, rearranging scenes, rescheduling confessionals, and renegotiating contracts because one cast member had taken the entire plot into his own hands. The damage is done. The silence is broken, but the question still stands. Can Yandhi and Mendeecees move on from something this public? Will Erica ever take responsibility for her part in this situation? Or is she already planning her next move? And if that folder actually contained Part 2, then this wasn't over. Fans are divided, emotions are high, and the cast will never be the same after this. One thing is certain though. When private moments become public, Boundaries are crossed. That cannot always be removed. Friendships are put to the test. Relationships break. Reputations burn. And just when you think the dust has settled, someone always pulls out more receipts. And Kirk, did he go too far? Or was this his way of finally taking control after years of being dragged and dismissed? What do you think about this messy situation? Did Kirk go too far by leaking the footage, or was he just defending himself? After being clowned behind his back, should Yandi leave Mendeecees? Or does he deserve a second chance? Does Erica owe anyone an apology? Or is she just being Erica? Just a few moments ago. But this one exposed not only who's real and